book is a sound book, all right? Freud sat on that book for 22 years. Basically, what he's saying that Moses was an Egyptian. We got plenty of evidence to support that now. It's no big, that's not a big deal. But listen to this about Sigmund Freud. With Sigmund Freud found a, here it is. They found a essay in the early 1980s. A West German researcher named Isel Grubeck-Samaitis was working on a book about the career of Sandor Ferenczi, when in a trunk full of Ferenczi's papers and correspondence, she came across a 12-page tract in Sigmund Freud's handwriting. Freud had written this essay in 1919, but its existence had been unsuspected for over 60 years. In this newly discovered essay, Sigmund Freud, I'm not writing this is Michael Bradley writing this. He's writing this in his introduction. In this newly discovered essay, you can Google it. It's called The Phylogenetic Fantasy. Google it. You can buy it. Anyway, let me read this. In this newly discovered essay, Freud came perilously close to overturning his own theories of psychosexuality and psychotherapy because he concluded that many or even most acute anxiety neurosis stem not from childhood trauma, but from racially remembered centuries-long trauma of trying to survive during the last ice age. According to this short 12-page essay, talking about black men in prison, we're talking about survival. Survival out and DNA. Survival outside the Stone Age caves was so brutal that the only respite from it were perverse sexual pleasures within the caves, where ice men took their frustration, aggression, and fears out on their women. So Freud, he's overcoming. So research is research. Now you can go Google this online. Freud's brief essay was published with copious notes and comments by Harvard University Press in April 1987. I'm giving you dates. Edited by Ilse Grubeck-Samaitis, a translation and foreword by Axel and Peter Hofer, under the title, A Phylogenetic Fantasy. Discounting the usual Freudian lurid imagination exaggeration, a phylogenetic fantasy argued precisely what the Iceman inherited. Now, Michael Bradley has been studying the Ice Age, and he's basically saying in the Ice Age, which really affected Europe. It did not affect Western Asia. It didn't affect Africa. Now, you know the continents was all one, the Pangea. So you can just walk from Africa, Libya, up to Greece, So, I mean, that's just like going, I'm from Detroit, that's like going from Jefferson Avenue to Belle Isle. Okay, so the continents were all together. That's why the Africans taught that henotheism, Henotheism, henotheism. Don't look in the dictionary for it because you're not going to find it. Google it. It's called a neogeism. Henotheism means the oneness of God. And remember, Moses said, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God, the Lord is one." Now, that's in your Bible. That's in the Christian Bible. That was Moses' last message to his people. "Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God." So you have the oneness of they believed that the stars and the moons and all the planets and everything we say about cosmology is all oneness. And there's a number that's attributed to this. The vibes, the electricity, the electromagnetism, the raising of the dead. I mean, you're going to get into that with, this is a real good book, The Angst, African Origin of Electromagnetism. This is like a car battery. This is like a car battery. Electromagnetism. Think about electromagnetism. Think about the priestly rod. Think about the ability to raise literally raised the dead. And if you really want to study something, they even have an account. Now this is the oldest, this is about as far as you can go. Not only just read the book, but they give an account in the footnotes. You gotta read. It's all there. And this stuff is just amazing. So anyway, Freud, this Ice Age came, and it affected particularly Europe, and as a result of the cruel, harsh climate treatment that had a negative impact on a lot of whites. This is what Freud is saying. This is what Freud is saying is the basis of Western man's problems. And that literally throws all his theories out. So when I hear people talking about Freud all the time, and when I look at theories now, in the black organization, the white, Jewish organization, it doesn't make any difference. A lot of them are using Freudian concepts, and it's not working. It's not working. I can't throw all of what Freud is out, but this is the good thing about research. And some of this stuff is a lot of this stuff is on the internet. A phylogenetic fantasy argues precisely what this author had said, had argued 9 years later, but a considerably more scientific grounds than Freud. That much of our behavior was conditioned by an Ice Age evolutionary experience. Behavior still genetically transmitted and are selected by cultural values of Ice Age profile, and that the essence of this aggressive behavior was psychosexual maladaptation. Thus, the Iceman inherited came to be supported by the work of none other than Sigmund Freud.